What if you were born into the world where everyone dies? Not just humans, but all creatures, only to be continuously be replaced by other humans in a continuous death and birth recycle. What if humans have told themselves different things of how the process started in religions, tales, and legends that mostly conflict and contradict each other, yet micro similarities that are fascinating to say the least. Most the religions and science of the mainstream praise rhetoric that is easily debunked, because all water has three stages of solid, frozen, natural liquid, and vapor from extreme heat, causing a mist or cloud. The human body is mostly liquid, water, and blood. What if it's possible some clouds are the blood and water evaporation form? You've never thought about that. Not just humans, but all creatures, measured by their liquid in their body, makes one person think, what if? That's why it rains on the dying day of a funeral. What if the liquids and elements in the body must be met with a certain equal amount of vitamins? What if any level out of place creates sickness? What if? But if you don't know that, then someone can possibly lie to you and tell you to place too much of a certain metal in one's body. The body inhales oxygen and exhales carbon. If you don't know that, then someone can lie to you and tell you carbon is a bad thing. When Earth uses carbon to survive, the carbon we release feeds nature, and nature exhales oxygen for us to exist in a great give and take. What if the tides rising and lowering in the four seasons is the earth literally breathing, inhaling and exhaling like us, both in a 12-month span? The Polaris star that never moves gives our Big Dipper stars and four signal patterns. This was known by the ancients and used the creation of the swastika as a symbol for good. The Big Dipper stamped in our sky in the four seasons of weather we dwell in naturally. What if the four elements, earth, water, air, fire, are all our brothers, older siblings? They've been here before us, obviously. How dare us humans assume to be created in the image and likeness of the creators without evidence? If you don't know, the four will be here forever regardless if humans are not. What if the story about the flood was true, and it's in every culture and every religion, and in those books they took out of the Holy Scriptures? What if most of what was originally said to be natural rock formations are actually fossils of pre-flood titans and giants? What if they took those books out because it would prove the account of giants existing? What if their bodies laid on top of and fused into mudslides after the flood, as the missing books say, some even forming islands? What if to have a face, eyes, eye socket, nose, sinus, teeth, chin, neck, and some have chests and hands and other body parts are not natural rock formations? What if you examine this and it looks like an entirely different system of duality that existed before us in the form of giants and titans? There were some good titans, there were some bad titans. There were some good giants, and there were some bad giants, which explains who may have created some of the magnificent structures we see today. What if somehow, some way, they found a way to actually do it and create men with wings and lizards with human features and all sorts of creatures, that anything you can imagine is actually possible? What if the imagination itself is all but a true telling of what the past actually was? No matter how many comics and things we come up with and imagine, it's a story that is being told of something that actually occurred. What if the jewels and diamonds that we possess, all the gems, are nothing but crystallized minerals of fluid within these giants and titans that we adorn so much? What if we are just cleaning up the ruins of what was before? What if the future already came and went, and we have to rediscover our future past all in one? What if these giants did nothing but provide for us these magnificent structures, and we are just now seeing the leftover remnants of their bones, of their footprints, of their tools, of the animals that existed at large heights, and we just collect their stones. And it was told in books that were taken out, and they build structures for us, because there's a duality in everything. There had to be good giants. What if we don't have the technology today to even build this kind of structures? What if we would break our equipment trying to do it? Nature itself can teach us if we just look towards it. What if we never even seen the real planet we live on? What if everything was down under the water because of this great flood, and we are only seeing a small portion of where we really live because it's all smothered in water? And what if the books they took out described evil spirits after the giants and titans were deceased, that were sent to annoy humans for all of humans' existence? Not kill them, but just annoy them for all the days of their lives. And what if spirits weren't evil spirits, but just low vibrations? And they're easy to spot in younger humans opposed to older humans. And what if these great structures, these good giants built for humans, were able to power and light up the entire planet with free energy? And what if those giants to this day exist in areas we just can't even see them? And as I said before, what if the universe is everything we see around us? The different creatures, the animals, the insects, the four elements, the unified song. Each person is a verse. Each person is their own song. And when that song is over, there you have it. But the vibration doesn't die. No. The vibration carries on. What if? That's why certain people remind us of other people. Voice tones sound alike. And as I said before, Earth is the heart. Even the words can be scrambled around to spell each other. Earth is the heart. So what is a heart? And heart has 4 chambers. Let's look at the human life. We have 4 chambers in our human heart. But as a whole, if you look at the earth and compare it with humans, there are only 4 ways a human can die. The 4 chambers of death. What if they were lying about everything? And the sun is just the sun, and the moon is just the daughter of God, of the very planet that we live on. And we're inside a glass home, watching everything spin around us, above us. What if the earth was definitely flat? And what if there were no evil doctrines, just low vibrations? And you can use these words for good or bad. Even those numbers, you can use them for good or bad. Those symbols, you can use them for good or bad. What if, depending on how you use it, determines what it means? What if 666 wasn't just a bad number? What if everything was connected in a death and birth recycle?
So, guys, I want to talk about what's called the most powerful and important discovery and tool in chemistry. And I don't want you guys to underestimate. I think most people do really underestimate the significance, the importance, and the power of the knowledge in the periodic table of elements system. Most people, although the periodic table of elements system is called a universal language of science, this is a quote, the most powerful and important discovery and tool in chemistry is not something that I made up. This is echoed over and over and over again by chemists around the world. So it's not a secret how important and influential and powerful this knowledge is. But most people, for whatever reason, just have not learned this information. They can't use it. They can't really read it. They can't make accurate predictions about matter with it. And that's what it does. It's literally like a cheat sheet to learning chemistry and also quantum mechanics. So this cannot be, its power and significance and importance cannot be understated. If you look at 2019 was actually supposed to be the United Nations declared it the International Union, or the International Year of the Periodic Table of Elements, for the 150-year anniversary of its discovery by Dmitry Mendeleev, a Russian chemist, in 1869. And if you look at the year that the periodic law, which is the basis for the periodic table of elements, the year that it was discovered by Dmitry Mendeleev, directly preceding that discovery was the Second Industrial Revolution, and a giant explosion in technologies, and also it changed patent law, where you could begin to patent molecules. And then it gave chemists this reference that allowed them to quickly obtain a ton of useful and element information just by glancing at the position of the elements in this table. Dmitry Mendeleev's genius was that he left empty spots in his periodic table for undiscovered elements, and he actually was able to make accurate predictions about elements that had not even been discovered yet. So this discovery revolutionized chemistry, and chemistry is called the central science. So when people think of chemistry, I think a lot of times they think of like working in a lab with a white coat on and goggles and mixing potions, but in fact chemistry touches every aspect of our lives. Everything that you can touch, taste, hear, smell, and see is made up of elements which are undergoing this process of mixing and unmixing, which is chemistry. So regardless of what you do, you're going to be impacted by chemistry somehow. So everything is made up of elements, and all the elements are in this system in a way that provides an enormous amount of useful information about them, so you can make educated decisions about the products that you consume. And then on another level, it helps to make the technologies that we depend on, and helps make the medicines that we rely on. So the power, it's all chemistry, right? Our energy, the clean energy, is all chemistry. So this information is extremely important. This is, the most powerful and important discovery and tool in chemistry. And if you can't read and use this, you're going to be way behind those who can, right? At least in terms of scientific literacy. If you don't understand this system and don't have a deep understanding of the elements, you're going to be in some way at the mercy of those who do, because you're going to have to take it on blind faith that the chemicals in your food, in your medicines, the way that the way you get your power, you have to take it on blind faith that these people are giving you products that are healthy for you, instead of detrimental to you, and just for their own profit and gain. So again, this is extremely important, and I can't overstate how important this knowledge is, especially in times like now, where science is being used as the driving force behind policy decisions and behind taking away people's freedoms, behind wearing masks, behind these vaccines that are experimental. So, our citizens must increase their scientific literacy. And I know when you hear the periodic table, you might get a sick feeling in your stomach, and your eyes might start to gloss over, but bear with me here, okay? I'm telling you, the periodic table of elements has not been taught to you in a way that is accurate, in a way that is easy to follow and learn and understand, and it's a disservice, because there is a way to teach this information in a way that makes sense, that's easy to follow, and it's all in the system. Now, if you notice on the standard periodic table, the periodic table that everybody is most familiar with is this here, right? This arrangement here. And if you notice, there's actually elements underneath here that are out of order. They're in their incorrect position, and they're not included in the numbering system. Now, let me back up a second. So, the periodic table of elements gets its predictive power based on the order, the arrangement, and the location of elements. Okay, so the predictive power of this system is based on where the elements fall in the system. And they have placed 30 elements out of order for the unscientific reason to save paper space. Now, some chemists even have tried to argue and debate with me on this point, where they're actually arguing to keep it as an inaccurate and broken system when the science and the data actually shows different. So if you're a scientist and you're arguing for an inaccurate reflection and an incomplete and inaccurate numbering system, you need to look in the mirror, take a hard, long look in the mirror, and try to determine your motives, because in science it's supposed to be all about the data and truth. And if you're arguing for an incorrect, inaccurate reflection of the most powerful and important discovery and tool in chemistry, I would argue that you don't belong teaching chemistry. You don't belong teaching science, because our science teachers must be all about teaching the empirical data and the truth, not outdated traditions, not unscientific traditions. And that's exactly what's happening here. These elements are placed out of order to save paper space, which is an unscientific, outdated tradition. We barely even use books and paper anymore. It's all about widescreen tablets, widescreen phone monitors, widescreen TV monitors, widescreen computer monitors. So now is the perfect time to abandon that outdated tradition of placing elements out of order and excluding them from the numbering system, to introduce the true arrangement of the elements, the true wide periodic table as the standard. This should be the arrangement that is in all our textbooks. This should be the arrangement that is distributed. And you can find this, if you notice up here, this is the wide reflection of the periodic table of elements. I found this online. You have to kind of search for this specifically to find one to purchase. You'll find at least 1,000 of the broken periodic table to one of the wide arrangement. But if you'll notice, even this the numbering system is incomplete. It goes 1, 2, skip a few, and then it comes back here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 18. But these are excluded again from the numbering system. So, and then this numbering system is actually inaccurate. It doesn't correspond to any useful and accurate element information. So this must be fixed. And once it's fixed, it makes learning this information, it makes learning the most powerful and important discovery and tool in chemistry far easier, and really it's no more difficult than simple counting. It's a little bit more difficult than simple counting because you have to count a few different things at the same time. But the system that I'm proposing is called the Genesis system of atoms, and it is the only periodic table system that has a complete and accurate numbering system for all the elements, and it also provides more useful, accurate, and complete element data than any other periodic table system currently available. And this is not my belief, this is not my opinion. This is a fact that can be verified through experiment. You can verify this by simply comparing the standard periodic table versus the Genesis periodic table, and then counting and listing the number of useful, accurate, and complete element data points. And you will find that the Genesis periodic system provides far more accurate, useful, and complete element information than the standard. So this must be addressed, and you know, this is the key, guys. This is like literally a cheat sheet to learning chemistry and quantum mechanics. By the way, chemists have the lowest unemployment rate of any any field of scientists. So important to know your chemistry. Chemistry is that foundational science. So if you don't understand chemistry and have a basic grasp of chemistry, you're not going to be able to work in any of the other fields of science. And you know, and not just science either. This carries over to everything, because again, everything is made of atoms, everything is made of elements, and interactions is that chemistry. And if you understand this system and understand this information, you're going to look at the universe, you're going to look at the world, you're going to look at reality in a completely new light. So I'm going to go through this in a series of videos. It shouldn't take more than a few videos for you guys to get a deep understanding of this Genesis periodic table of element system. And you know, what normally takes years using the standard method, I'm going to teach you what takes years and many thousands of dollars, you know, many tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn to go to school for chemistry. I'm going to teach you in a series of videos for free. So just because I think this information is so important and so influential, and the more that we can get people on the same page and scientifically literate, the harder it's going to be to take away our freedoms. The harder it's going to be to manipulate people and exploit people. We must have a society of scientifically literate people in order to secure our freedoms. So I'm going to keep this video a little bit shorter, but keep an eye out for my future videos. I hope you guys found this interesting and informative. Have a great day. God bless.